live.
We're live. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast and it's hosted by another nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am a little bit of a hungover nerd hosting this Sunday. It feels like morning, afternoon. I don't even know what time it is at this moment. Thanks, Donna. But yes, I am the other host, Paul, and we are joined by Lee. he, always, he always gets paranoid that I'm going to say something nasty, so I just said it's Lee, just Lee, little old
Just
Lee.
Lee.
I'm still waiting. I'm not expecting it to stop there.
I don't know. It's fine. It's okay. Like I say, we'll give you enough abuse yesterday. We're going to be nice to Lee. It's going to make him feel really uncomfortable, and it's going to totally throw him now, so he doesn't know what to expect. So hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Hi. All right. Well, then it's lovely to see you all.
It's a lovely evening.
It's a great evening, Lee.
And with this episode being the one that we've chosen to do on this spooky season, she's been banging on about this episode for probably a year and a half. Saying, even in the comments, everything, Final Destination, well, you're fucking getting it, Beth. You're getting it, and you're going to like it, okay?
Now.
So hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
So you might see some dogs as well, because Beth's getting attacked and mauled by some animals going through. So don't be afraid. It's not going to be like a Final Destination situation where Beth will get bumped off, then Lily will get bumped off, then Sammy will get bumped off, and then I'll survive, because I am the final girl of this podcast. But before we get started as well, I do want to do a little bit of a special announcement as well. And I'll say, because the Nerdy Up North team had a little bit of an outing yesterday, because one of the best members, yes, I have got favourites, Donna and Tucky, so Mrs. Tuckwell now, not Mrs. Yeoman, Mrs. Tuckwell and Mr. Tucky got married. And this is the little invite, like say, a little picture that they shared with us of the day. And like I say, it captures the moment perfectly. And it's just to say, congratulations, Donna and Tucky. Like I say, thank you for sharing it with the nerds, shall we say.
Yes, thank you. It was such a magical day. It was a beautiful wedding in a beautiful place. And it was just such a fun and lovely day. So thank you, Donna. We wish Donna and Michael, we wish you all the love in the world.
And it was a very classy day as well. It was
wasn't it?
It was such a very sophisticated. And starting off to show a few little photos monitors. Look at how classy these two. A beautiful goth princess and a 10-year-old son. I was sitting next to him. Oh yes, the handsome Goodwill, looking fabulous with his frosted tips, and also as well, like I say, look how beautiful these two look. Look at that magic photo.
Magic. So magic.
Just embracing how beautiful of the moment, but that doesn't tell the full story of this moment, does it? No, because if you just look to the side, if you look to the side here, as it just peels across. Look at that creepy pervert. Look at the rage-filled eyes there. Look at the anger looking at us. How angry does he look as he's just staring through us? But that didn't start. But that didn't.
I knew this was coming.
But this is how it started, and then it become like this. This is where we went from classy to this type of decorum. This is the type of people we were socialing with last night. I just can't believe. But Lee was.
Look, I love the shock in Donna's face there. Like, what the hell's going on?
What these two Goonies doing? Also, as well, like I say, because Lee's lust was insatiable. He was very much like up for anything last night. So I had to take him in my hands and kind of caress him a little bit and show him that he was loved and that he felt appreciated. And I feel like you can tell the love between me and Lee is strong in this picture.
Hey, Lee, that face, what's wrong? What is the matter with you?
I don't know what was happening. I was just taken by surprise.
Oh, he was taken somewhere. But unfortunately for Lee, the most romantic thing of the night wasn't me and Lee, and I do apologise for this. And it wasn't even me or Bex, like hi Bex. It was this magical moment here where it just drove Lee so insane with jealousy and anger that he I don't think Lee has finally got over the fact that me and Goodwill like were swept away and danced the night away together, and like say the love affair is blossoming between me and like say the majestic Captain Goodwill there. But I'm sorry, Lee. You did mean a lot, but that's how the night ended. I do apologise.
For fuck's sake, man, leave that face. I swear to God, Michael, if you're watching, you need to get that face on a necklace. Honestly.
He's always watching. I'll just put him over the side here, so he's just like kind of like glaring at us, glaring through at us now. So
that's worse than the creepy Final Destination pictures.
So it's always the lead just kind of staring.
Hey, that's so funny. John is in the chat. Hi, John. I hope you've survived yesterday, because it was just such a brilliant and beautiful day. I wish I could say that without laughing at that picture. My goodness.
So yes. So Lee, did you have a nice night?
It was absolutely amazing.
Oh.
Congratulations, Donna and Tuggy.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So yes. Oh dear.
Oh, hey, man. Oh, what a way to start an episode all about death.
Yes.
We start off with a celebration.
Celebration of life and death. That's how we're rolling with this one.
That's how I roll on a daily basis.
Well, it was a bit of a goth wedding, so yes. See, it's always trying to lure them in with a false sense of humor. I'm going to be nice to Lee, but no, then I'll take them from behind and give him a good scene too. But yes. So Lee's just looking at. I'm going to Photoshop something for Paul now.
Yeah, Lee's like, how do I get him back?
It's coming.
That's more than what she said last night, but yes.
Oh, hey, before it takes a turn, shall I do the disclaimer?
Yes.
And shall we get into Final Destination?
Let's do it, yes.
Yeah. So everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group, the Discord, or the comment section, where we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Yes.
I can't believe I got through that.
Well done.
With that there.
And it's all out of love. And like I said, all joking aside, yesterday was a purely magical day. It was one of the I know it sounds weird saying this. It was one of the most perfect weddings I've ever been to, where literally nothing went wrong. No. It was all smooth. And it was full of lovely people.
Anyway.
Full of lovely people.
From what we could see. It was such a lovely day. We all were on our best behaviour. To a certain degree. Yeah, it was just beautiful. So thank you again, Donna. I know you're in the chat still. So thank you. Right, let's do this. Let's start. Let's do this. Let's change the tone a bit.
Final Destination. I don't know, how can you do a Tony Todd impression really well? I don't think I can.
It's can't really whisper this one, you know, like on Monsters where I can whisper stuff. You can't really go Final Destination.
Yes.
Doesn't really work.
So starting us off, because as you said, Beth is the main reason why we are doing this episode, because let's be honest, we are a little bit scared of Beth at times. She is terrifying. And she's bullied us into this. So, Beth, why do you love this franchise as much as you do?
It's kind of hard to explain, but I really enjoy them, and they're so underrated as well.
Right. Okay. So, why do you feel like they're underrated?
Again, that's because they don't get as much attention as other franchises do.
Yeah, I think
they get put in the back seat.
Yeah, I think down to that could be like the time it came out, because I always thought this started a lot earlier than it did, but when we've looked back at the times and the movie releases, this came out in 2000. So, but to me, this feels very much in the 90s type of horror type of brackets, like the when the likes of Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, like say Cherry Falls, Teaching Mrs. Tingle, that no fuckers watched.
Nope, because it doesn't exist.
Got an image. Still got the image here.
Oh god, you are right though. It does fit in lovely
Teaching
in
Mrs.
that
Tingle.
bracket.
There, it's real.
Oh my
It is there.
Honestly, that is so Photoshop. It's it just fits in lovely in that the first one fits in lovely with the horror scene at the time, and it was kind of probably the ending part of that 90s phase of horror.
Right.
Was
Yeah.
when Final Destination came out. But I will get into my feelings in a bit because we're talking about Beth and her feelings and why she loves this fall.
But I think with this as well, because I saw this first, and this probably is the third movie I saw of Devon Sawyer. So like the ones that came out before this was Casper.
Yeah.
Little Giants. It's a sports film about American football. You're not going to love it. It's funny. But I watched this and it was a very different take for Devon Sawyer. After I saw him in this, I saw Idle Hands, and that just changed the game type thing. But yeah, because all these different type of horror movies or horror franchises came about because, like you say, you got this, and I think Saw came after this. Is that right? And then
you got the Saw franchise.
I think that's what gets it to be underrated. Like Beth says, like I think a lot of people see them as just gore films where it's over the top deaths.
Yes,
just like Saw.
Yeah.
But the underrated part is the fact that they just take normal everyday situations that everybody does, just like driving to work. And everybody now, after seeing that film, it's changed the game. You can't drive behind a big truck without thinking, oh god, that's just like Final Destination.
That's a big thing why I do enjoy the Final Destinations, even the shit ones, because let's be honest, there is some shit ones in this franchise, but to be honest, when the shit, it makes it that much better for me, if that makes sense.
I get that.
Because I like a shit fantastic horror film every so often, ones where you can just shut off the brain and go through. But it's trying to work out, because after you watch the first one, you know the plot for each one of the films are identical, that nothing really changes the formula, and that's where Sammy's going to tell us a little bit her side. But the way I like it now is I'm going to work out how the fuckers are going to die, because you think, because it kind of tease you along the way, like each situation they're in, it'll be a little tease. It'll be like, she's sitting in here in a dentist chair. Oh shit, the dentist drill's gonna fuck her up, or stuff like that. That's the clever bit for me, where it's like you're trying to work out how they are going to struggle and going to have them issues. But that's why it has the appeal to me and why I enjoy them. It reminds me, this is probably, as you said, films from the 2000s looking like they're from the 90s, but with an 80s theme.
Wow, that's a lot to fucking put into there. You're giving it more credit than what it deserves.
So, give us your feelings on this, Sammy.
Right. I do remember when it came out, because I remember watching it the day before I flew to Florida, trying to get my sister to watch it with us, and she wouldn't, and having no feeling whatsoever when it came down to getting on the plane. I was like, if it goes down, it goes down. Fuck all I can do about it. But I do love, because of where it falls in the horror timeline, I really did enjoy the first one. I thought it was very, very well thought out. The death scenes were great. The only thing that really bothered us was this whole list.
Right.
This list. That's what got us, because it takes them. Yes, and but fair enough. But let's mix it up a bit. Let's put some mystery behind it. Why does death have to be so routine? Do you know what I mean? Because it's not really, in a way.
But that makes it a bit more mundane, and that's Lee's point as well. Everyday things become scary.
It's not so much the deaths itself. It's the order in which they're going in, the people who they're actually going to. It's like, well, we all know that person's going to get it next.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right. Trying to figure it out how it's going to happen. It can be a bit batshit crazy, but it's just mix it up. Let someone else go next. Like, why does it have to be that person? Let it be that person. And I watched the first one again today. Still felt exactly the same way as what I did when I originally watched it. And then I watched the second one.
Well, let's start off with the first one before going into the to this
that's
one.
why I ended it right there.
Talking about the order of the list in the first one, I feel like it does start to get a bit like off track at one point late film, where there's 3 of them left, and there's the main lad. He's like he's rolled down the hill and he's stuck in a puddle, and there's the other lass is like trying to avoid electricity and stuff, and it kind of keeps going backwards and forwards between those two. And that other lad that's still alive, it's just forgetting about him.
Kerr Smith, he's probably a lovely person, but he's got a face you just want to punch. Like,
But if you think about the casting for this movie as well, because I know I mentioned Devon Sawyer, but the casting for this, like the type of movie it was perfect. It was like coming out of the American Pie wave. Like you got Sean William Scott, you've got Kerr Smith riding the waves of Dawson's Creek, and now we've got like say horror queen Ali Larter now. I say a lot of these people that like you put them in one movie and it kind of works, and like throw in there the cameo of Tony Todd, it had the formula where this movie, long as it didn't do stupid things, it wasn't going to fail. But I love the flashbacks and saying the clever bits, and you forget the little details, and Tony Todd even warned you in it. It's the devil in the details type thing. He's almost like hitting you, and like the little twists are very cleverly done, but they're in your face, like the fact that he swapped seats. And he's like, so that's the whole thing. It's death by design. And it's like, oh, shit. And very formulaic for a horror. Yes. Like, if you're talking like a horror blueprint, it's very A, B, C, D. It doesn't veer off. But some of the deaths are so imaginative and brutal as well. Like, we talked about the Saw movies. The Saw movies are very, very strong in gore. But put that to one side. The death in Final Destination 1, where that young kid dies in the shower, is one of the most uncomfortable things to watch. Just to see like how violent and intense it is. His eyes freak everyone out. But the fact that like soap and shampoo go in the bath so he can't get a grip, and you can hear, like I'm talking about now, I bet you can hear that sound of the sliding of his feet on that bath. And that's the things that do sit with you. And then you get the cleverness of, like, because it is the most ludicrous type of situation to ever put yourself in. So you're kind of thinking, oh shit, what's going to happen? How are you going to like survive this situation? And the police treat it like the police should. They always do the investigation.
Where's that? Who's got music
the connection?
I don't know. Beth,
have you got music on?
Beth.
Hello.
What is happening?
I think she might have froze because she's perfectly still.
Right.
Unless she's playing musical statues, and that's why the music's on.
I don't know what's happening, but yes, if you hear any music, I do apologise. But yeah.
I don't understand about the water leaking from the toilet in that scene you just mentioned, the strangling thing.
It comes out, he slips.
Yeah, it comes back in as if Death's going, oh, I better make this look like an accident. I don't want anyone to know it was me. Like, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
Are you all right there, Beth?
Yes, internet connection's crap.
Right.
No.
That's fine. We get these problems all the time there. Wolfman got nods as pointed out. Todd was also in Disturbing Behaviour and one of the Saw movies. Was he in one of the Saw movies?
I can't remember him being in one of the Saw movies. However, I am very vague when it's like between 3 and Jigsaw. My memory is shocking on them ones.
10 now, wasn't it? It's a bit hard to keep track.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing for you. I did read up about this movie today. The whole idea of Final Destination is on the back of an X-Files episode.
Right. Okay.
Really?
Very interesting.
Whether that episode got made or not, not sure, but it was intentionally set for an X-Files episode.
Right.
And it got made into this multi-million-dollar franchise instead. Also, it was going to star originally on the first concept paper was Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, I don't know why I went all squeaky there, but I kind of like that as well.
Riding on the back of Spider-Man.
Yes.
who was going to be Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire. The studio thought that them two as a duo work together.
Yeah.
But Devon Sawa beat them all out, and Ari Lauder as well, which is, I think, good. Because I think them two would have brought such a soft side to it.
Yeah.
And Devon Sawa is like, God, the guy doesn't get the credit he deserves.
No.
He is so fucking intense.
I like him in the new. Have you seen him in the new Chucky TV show? Yes, he was very good in that. Good. Yeah.
He's in Soul 3D. Okay. See, that's right. Wolfman's got now. So that's where I differ, because I not differ, just forget. My memory shit. Watch me Saw episode on Monsters. Fucking terrible.
But yes, I am quite scared of the Saw movies, and like I said, I try and hide from them as best as I can. I'm not a gore fan. But
and his wife did tell me about the trip when he went to go and see Saw X and how much of a squealer he is when he's in the pictures.
Well, you know how much I like the pictures, but yes.
That is true. That is very true. I can't quite believe it.
When I was
there was.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, but when I was thinking about the Final Destination movies, because for some reason I always think there is more than what there is. I don't know why. I always think there's been 6 or 7 movies, but I know there's only 5. I always get confused by the Final Destination, because I know that was supposed to be kind of the end and the but I did read somewhere as well they are looking to do a new one, like a rebranding.
Yes, I have heard that they're going to completely reshuffle it. Do you want to know another interesting fact?
Oh, well, then gives you factoids.
Give me factoids. I had to read it. It's what I do. It's surprising. It's what I do on every movie I watch. I go on IMDb just to have a look at things. The footage of the plane. Now, this is where it is very clever, and also in the second one, very clever. The footage of the plane crash and the debris is genuine.
Right? What, they blew up the cast?
Eh?
They blew them up.
They did not blow the cast up. They used footage from a they used stock footage from a flight disaster.
Oh.
And this is I'm trying to find what flight it was, but they used the actual footage, stock footage, and on the ground as well. When you see the debris, that is all real, from an actual plane crash.
And just a shout out, thank you very much to my Rebecca Mullen, for becoming an honorary member of the Nerdy Up North channel there as well. So that's, like I say, she's not just subscribed, she's actually become a member of the cult. So yes, so thank you, Bex. Thank you, my Bex. Lee's gonna punch us one day. But yes, sorry to throw you off. Okay, kill it. Yeah. So yeah, that's fucked up though. Using real footage of a
it's not. It's clever because it saves money.
Yeah,
when it comes down to the actor. Because I'll talk about the second one when we get into it. But there's some things that you can't replicate.
Right.
And you need that scene to be fucking as intense as it can be, because you don't know how, if he was making it up or if it's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
So you need it to look as kind of almost as realistic as it possibly can be.
What I do, again, spoilers, I know, going to be jumping all over this franchise as well, from part A to part B. I know it's a very easy thing to do, but I loved how they ended the franchise on 5. Back on to...
What a twist.
Yeah. It was basically the people who survived everything that got through and beat Death Design get on the original plane from the first one, and you see them all sitting there. So it's kind of like a circle.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite twists in any film.
The second one, where Claire says death's working in reverse.
Right.
So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What?
Yeah, because
the affected people in the first one, and that, like if someone saved somebody else, but they were meant to be dead already, that's making more weak links or something like that. I can't think of the term.
To be fair though, it must be so.
Destination 2.
I would be fucked off if I was an American living in that type of town or like that place. The amount of psychic people that live there who stumble onto Death's design and like start thinking it's like all the shit that's going on. I know it's like it's movie magic and stuff like that, but fucking hell. Talking about the movies in general, because I know there's 5. We know what Sam's answer is going to be to this one. Which one is your favourite of the franchise? So we'll go with Sammy first to give us the easy answer.
1.
1. Cool.
It's going to have to be 1 because I have only seen 1.5.
Cool. What about you, Beth?
I have to say the 5th one.
The 5th one, why?
Because of the twist.
Right. You like the cleverness of it?
Yeah.
I think that one's got an interesting start as well, with the bridge going down. That one was quite memorable. But that's when, like, I think, was it 4 and 5 where they leaned in heavily to the new technology that came out in the cinema that was 3D. And Lee shakes his head.
Saw that in 3D.
God.
Did you not appreciate the 3D there, Lee?
I think number 4 must have been the 3D one.
Yeah, that was the major one.
Some of the deaths are shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like number 4 was written by a 12-year-old. And it's like, right, how should we have the disaster at the beginning? Race cars! And it's just stupid. Like, there's one guy, like, a plank falls up and it's vertical. Yeah. And this guy perfectly falls on it. And the plank comes out through his open mouth, like, ah. And it's like, this was written by a 12-year-old. What is going on?
I would need someone to clip Lee getting excited over race cars as well. That needs to be a new video there.
And also, one of the worst parts of 4 is everybody's made of cake. Like, these people, it's pretty much, there's nothing, the cake is the only thing that I can think of that can be cut through that easily. Like, one guy gets a gas cylinder, pushes him into a wire mesh fence.
Yeah.
And then parts of them start falling out in the shape of the squares in the fence.
Yeah.
And there's no bone inside them.
Yeah.
And it's just cake.
It's either cake or Play-Doh. So yeah, like a Play-Doh.
The guy who wrote 4 also wrote the butterfly effect.
Right.
So take that how you will. So yeah, he wrote Final Destination 2 and The Final Destination.
Right.
The butterfly effect.
Bless you.
Oh God.
But yeah, what is your favourite one then, Lee? Which one do you think stands out or stands the test of time more than the others?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
So number 1, I think it was a bit more of like a thriller, sort of like just a clever horror film.
Right.
Like really clever horror film with like death coming after these people that have escaped it. And it was sort of like random deaths, like the aeroplane. It's like, oh, that could happen, I suppose. But nobody gets on a plane thinking, oh, this could blow up. Nobody goes to the shower and thinks, oh, I'm going to get strangled here.
Yeah.
And all of the deaths are things that could happen. But then number 2, especially with the highway scene.
Yeah.
Like I said, people look at these like logs or cars being carried on trucks and think, oh, that doesn't look safe.
Yeah.
And it's like they've gone round and went, right, what doesn't look safe around here? And they've picked things out that people would normally worry about. And then from there on in the franchise, it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think number 2 just changed the game going forward.
Number 2, that scene with the car crash, genuine footage.
What?
Yeah.
Is the Final Destination just like one big snuff movie that we didn't know about now?
The aeroplane is actually 2. I've just checked up on it. It was 2 footages of 2 different incidents. But yes, the scene with where she's watching the pile up is genuine.
Right.
Inspired by something that happened in early 90s.
Yeah, I'm even more scared to go on a motorway.
It does. You know, I'll give it its props. When you read about the movie, it makes it more interesting.
Right.
That's.
And if anyone's,
we've even had people in the chat. As I think it was Sarah and Leanne.
Yeah.
When we first mentioned the cars, they both said I avoid logs on trucks or like car carriers and stuff. Personally, I'll be driving around on the. Yeah, Bex will be in the car with us and go, "Oh no, it's the Final Destination truck," and I'll pull in behind it.
You awful person.
But that's why Bex likes me now. So like, say she's gonna now we've got that relationship to kind of move away from you there, Lee, to try and keep her safe while you're trying to kill her off and these things. That's why Creepy Lee's coming back out. You don't get behind him in a car.
Oh God, he's back.
But I think what like I'm with Lee. I do prefer 2, which is a strange one to say because like the first one I do think as a whole is a better movie. Don't get us wrong, but I enjoy 2 more just for certain like different aspects. Like that motorway scene is just horrific. Like
real.
And I did make a comment earlier called a snuff milk film. Anyone in the chat, please do not Google snuff milk films. You will get arrested. The FBI will be on your door. So don't do it.
You have been warned. I know, and I don't mean to do this with this franchise to kind of, put it up against Saw.
Yeah.
But I totally get what you mean. And I'm going to use Saw as my example. The first one is fucking genius.
Yeah.
It lays the groundwork. It gives you your blueprint. The second one is just as good, if not better, because it then starts to add twists in. And then you go off on a fucking... Then Hollywood just does what it does and just fucking milks the shit out of it. These 2 franchises have such a parallel when it comes down to their movies, and especially their deaths as well. Which is another thing I didn't particularly like about the Final Destinations. I thought that, in my opinion, please don't come for me, I'm a lovely person. I thought that their deaths were a bit lame. Sorry.
See, a lot of them, I feel like they try to go for cringe, like, oh, what's going to make people wince?
Yeah.
Like the screw on the beam. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone dreads doing something like that. Or when the guy's getting that acupuncture and he's pulling it out and it goes to a close-up and it's just things that make you wince. I feel like they go for that a bit too much over the clever deaths.
Yeah.
Or the more horrific deaths.
I like the surprise ones because there is a few ones I think but like I say, we'll talk about this as well. What are your favorite deaths in these movies? Like, which ones do you like that you'd stand out other than, shall we say, the 2 obvious that do frighten the shit out of everyone? The one is the plane because it did stop people getting on planes for a long time, and the infamous one is the log one behind the cars. Them are the 2 like major ones. But other than that, let's go with the individual deaths. Like, which ones kind of shit you up the most?
I'll go first because mine. Oh, sorry, Beth. My apologies.
Sorry.
No, go on.
Sorry. The sunbed one.
Right, so
it was slow and painful.
And hot.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Or
Would you?
3.
No, not for me. I enjoy seeing them because, like, I mean, they don't deserve to die, but those really annoying. Those are really annoying high school girls. It's like, oh my god, bye. It's like, you need to go.
So
wow, totally seeing a different side of Lee.
This new episode of the podcast is the dark side of Lee, the becoming of the. Get Lee to say, "Welcome to the dark side."
Welcome to the dark side.
Right.
Oh, I like it. No, I get what you mean though, Lee. Like, there's some characters in here. You're like, yeah, you probably didn't deserve to die, but my God, is it funny to watch you die?
Yeah.
What about you, Sammy?
I'm gonna go. I can only stick with the first one. I must say, I did watch part of the second one, and I fell asleep during it. I couldn't keep my eyes open. The scene with the guy who won the lottery and the stare going on his eye. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding us? Move! You've just managed to survive a fire and this, that, and the other, and there's a ladder right above you. Move! Just fucking move, dick!" But no, he got it right in the eye. My favorite one out of the first one will always be the head chop.
The Stifler.
Stifler's head chop.
Right.
Love it because he in that scene, I just want someone to push him in front of the train to shut him up.
He is a bit of a bitch. Yeah.
He goes on like such a baby, and it's just like if the guy who's a bit of a dick is finally accepted that the guy who's been saying all this stuff is actually talking sense and maybe it's all real.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Stifler. Like, stop. Love that one. And also I love the Dick's girlfriend's death. Can't think of her name. Because the bus where she gets hit by the bus. As I remember when I first watched that, I did do a shriek.
I hope that was quite high. I hope we caught that on camera. that high pitched one.
If Nova starts going crazy, we know why.
Well, what about you, Lee?
Right. The most deserved death in the entire franchise is the guy from the racetrack who goes to the black guy's house with the cross and starts trying to dig and put it on his lawn. And then he gets dragged down the street and gets set on fire.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need more of that happening in life. Like, everyone, it's 9 o'clock. The racist people are getting dragged down the street. Look, he's on fire now. Yay!
Well, Lee,
so deserved.
So Lee gets pissed last night, tries it on with everyone, and now comes on the podcast and says, every fucker must die. Yes.
Lee, is this what happens when you watch horror?
Yes, this is why when you go, no, why don't you watch horror films? I'll laugh at all of these things all the way through. Go, these stupid people, man. Oh, well, he deserved that. Oh, don't go in there. You're going to die. It's...
do you know what really annoyed us about the opening of the second one? I love the fact that Ari Lotta was still in it because I really like her. But Devon Sawyer's death.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? He got hit by a brick.
Yeah.
The guy survived 8 attempts on his life in the first movie.
It just
8 attempts.
It just shows you how
and he gets
violent.
Killed by a brick.
It just shows you how violent Kevin is in Home Alone. He's attacking people with lethal weapons. Like Marv, like is just like unstoppable. He's almost like Wolverine.
Create that picture of Kevin throwing a brick with Devon Sawyer below. He got killed by a brick, man. Come on, the only reason he wasn't in the second one, because it was going to be penned all around him. This whole franchise was based all around Devon Sawyer, is because they knew his worth and they wouldn't settle for what the studio wanted to give him. And they couldn't come to an agreement. And so they killed him with a brick.
If you want more money, fucker, take the brick.
Hey.
So, but yeah.
So that was just the one that I think is most deserved. The cringiest one that like actually makes us like go, oh nah. The only one in the whole franchise is the pool. When I don't know what he's called, but it's the guy from Legends of Tomorrow.
It is the ultimate fear. Like, because we were all told as a kid, stay away from the suckers, the jets in the pool, because they'll suck you in, they'll suck your insides out, and we'll go, ha, 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 ha. So we're all sticking our hands in, and I'll go, oh, this is fun.
They'll suck your insides.
And his guts get sucked out through his arse.
Yeah.
And
they do not.
When it explodes, it's like, oh,
Which
no.
guy from Legends of Tomorrow? The guy,
he's Biff's son. I don't know if you've seen that far in Legends of Tomorrow. Because Biff from Back to the Future shows up in it. Not as Biff.
Not as Biff, no.
Oh, okay, that would have been fucking fantastic.
I can't remember the actor's name.
See if I can.
I know who you mean.
See if I can sort something out. Keep talking to me.
Yeah, no, that would have been absolutely amazing if Biff Tannen showed up in Legends of Tomorrow.
I mean, he does make some Biff Tannen references because I can't remember what phrase gets used. It's the make like a tree. And
why don't you make
leave.
like a tree and get out of here?
He says that, and I'm sure his son goes, I don't think that's how that saying goes.
Make like a tree and leave.
I do apologise, everyone.
Oh, you got doggies fighting.
No, he's trying to give me the toy.
Oh, it's
bless his
fine.
heart,
No,
man.
she's got it.
But while they're looking at another one, probably is me. Well, fourth favourite because I've got the log one and the Tannen bed in my top two. Fourth place for me, top 5 is the laser eye surgery.
Oh,
That's quite cringy.
Oh, I just saw Beth recoil there.
No, I don't anything near my eyes.
But I feel like she also deserves it as well.
Do you not think they all did?
I mean, there's a few that I don't think Stifler deserved to die. He was a bit whingy.
Oh, what is that?
But he did have a really cool death.
Yeah. Mine is because it is like it's a bit of a surprise because she survives so much. Is the airbag scene, and to be fair, the guy, the fireman who did it, I think he should have been done for manslaughter as well, because it's basically he's tapping on the side of the thing, and like she's been a bitch to him, so he hits it even harder. So the airbag fires off, hits her in the front, and there's a pole sticking at the back. Goes full Paris Hilton from House of Wax on her, and like say she loses half her face, which is absolutely fully like shocking, but just out there, just how crazy it is. I'm just going to see if I can get this to work. Sorry, guys, if I'm being distracted. I'm going to try and get. I'm going to actually try and get the video of the pool scene up.
While you're doing that,
my
just Kelly.
Worst one. She hates
Kelly in the
scene.
chat about the brick. Right. I've just read that.
I love my brick.
Father Jack killed him. I love my brick.
I love my brick. So did Devon Sawyer right in the end. But isn't that just a really pussy ass way to die? And I can't believe I've just said that. Oh, let's have a see of this one. Who is it?
So it's a preppy boy. I've turned the sound off, so there shouldn't be any sound.
Happy Gilmore.
So the golf ball hits him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to go in the pool, man." Like, say,
"Oh fuck, why? That's not your ball. You don't have. Oh, it's a penny.
It's a coin. It flips. It's
lucky quarter or something.
Lucky double-headed coin. So it went down the tube, and the tube's been maxed out.
You just leave it. You know what I mean? Oh.
Also, he knocked like a tennis racket off or something and turned the pump on for the pool drain.
Oh, it was the water pistol, the gun?
Yes, it was the water pistol. Because he was bullying a child.
What's gonna happen?
He was bullying a child just before this as well and stole the kid's water pistol.
This.
Yeah.
And the water pistol landed on the pool drain system.
Did you ever think of doing a list of the people who actually deserved it?
Oh no, I didn't.
That would be really cool, that wouldn't it?
Well, most of them.
I think it would be easy to do a list of who didn't deserve it.
Yeah. Oh, I want to see it. I know what's going to happen.
He's inside. Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
There's his guts come out his backside.
What? That is the best reaction to somebody's guts coming out of a filter system.
As Chris has put, we're stuck to death, but not the way we all hope. Yes.
He died happy. Yes, Kelly, he did. I'm just having to watch it again, man.
But it does make you feel queasy and stuff like that. Also, I do like the roller coaster scene. I think the roller coaster scene's quite intense and quite like full on, just by each of them falling off and hitting different things and getting splattered on different things. And again, I think the story with the Alton Towers came out like not too long after that as well, where the poor person got good things, so it become quite realistic, like what can happen from that type of thing.
The roller coaster one would really freak me out because I have been stuck on many roller coasters. One of them being Kraken at SeaWorld. And if you've seen how high Kraken is, I got stuck right at the top and I was on the end, and holy shit balls, that was terrifying. And the Hulk in Universal Studios, as it was literally going like this, like going backwards and forwards, because the Hulk ride, you sit on it and you move tiny bit, and then you kind of are on a catapult, and then you go back to shoot off. They told us while it was moving like that, as it was going to, where you feel it was going to catapult out at any moment, to get off the ride.
Well, have I told you about
my favorite ride? I had literally got Michaela and just flung her so we could get out as quick, because I generally, in my head, that was going off as we were getting off.
Have I ever told you my Hulk story about the ride in Florida?
Go on then. I haven't heard it.
Well, because I think we were talking about it last night, because we were having a discussion on the table about trying to like sort out when we're all rich and famous, having a nerdy up north outing to Disneyland, where all the nerds go in there and filming us on the rides and stuff. Health and safety in America isn't quite the same as health and safety in the UK, where a lot of things like flames gets quite close to you. There's a lot of accidents that can happen quite easily.
animated sharks coming up right to you, or like
Yeah.
mechanical sharks coming right up to your face.
We don't want to give Jake any flashbacks, bless him. But the Hulk, because basically when you're on the ride, you're strapped in, which is great, but you've got these two things around your head, and it's not like a cushion; it's two big plastic things around your head. And when you get flown around in the Hulk, you're getting some G-force. I kind of got my head bashed on one side and bashed on the other and was knocked out.
Oh God!
But like say,
like
say, so I spent about half an hour after like being on the Hulk, not knowing where I was. So walking around the park, concussed, going, I don't even know who I am.
Oh shit! I have been on a ride very similar. I don't think it was the Hulk, but something where there was something here. A bit of thread got caught on my ear, on the top of my earring, and trying to keep my head in one place.
Right.
While you're getting flung to the other. You know, it came out. I got ripped out. But yeah, that was fucking awful. Health and safety in America, they literally, there has to be thunder and lightning on top of you before they'll stop a ride. They literally, the minute it's raining, fair enough, we'll keep it going. But when the thunder and lightning is literally sat on top of you, that's when they'll say, no, we'll stop the rides now. This is now dangerous.
They don't even stop the rides when someone's been sick. They'll literally just get a hose, squirt the hose on, and say next. You see it happen like I think it was the rock and roller coaster. Someone was sick before we got on, so we just actually went So we just went on like because it wasn't too busy, so we managed to move out the seats. But they literally went because they've got like a certain time scale. They've got to have the ride going to function everything. So it was like literally, the sick here because someone goes on sick, hose right on. I was like, I don't want to. What was this, like a lump kicking about?
I'm gonna have to tell my story about roller coasters as well, and it involves the rock and roller coaster. Bex, I'm just pushing Bex further into your arms here, mate. Bex is terrified of roller coasters. I don't know if it's because of Final Destination. But we went to Disneyland Paris, and she wouldn't go on anything. We lined up for Indiana Jones, and then I went on by myself because she backed out. So I went, we'll go on a really slow one. This Aerosmith one, you just go on, it just slowly takes you around the track, but it's dark, so it's fine. And she was like, okay, no problem. And we went round, got to the front, and then she sees the roller coaster just go pew, down the dark tunnel. And she went, that was fast. I was going, no, it's just because it's dark. It looks like it's going a lot faster. So she got on, and then it took off, and she's just...
Bless her.
I don't think she's trusted the Sims. I'm not fucking surprised. That's like my dad's terrified of roller coasters. He doesn't like anything. He loves to be. He doesn't like when his feet are dangling. So he actually really likes the Aerosmith one because your feet are flat on the floor.
Right.
He doesn't, and it's in the dark. That's okay with him. But if he has to see everything and his feet are dangling, he freaks out. He had to take my sister on the Woody Woodpecker ride when she was 8 years old, and he had a fucking meltdown.
Bless him.
A fully grown man had a meltdown on a child's ride because it went, in his words, a little bit too fast for his liking. What a fucking... My God.
I'll be honest, the scariest one I've ever been on, you can actually Google the ride and do like the ride along. So if you've got like VR headset, you can put it on. It's I think it's called Shakara Busch Gardens. Where
Shikari is it the wooden one?
No, that's one where I hurt your ass because you're literally going on a wooden wood just bump. This one, it's like freeze dangling, so you're in the seat, so everything's dangling. It takes you up to the top. It's got the highest point in it, like roller coaster.
I've been on this.
And then it slowly goes like this is the angle. Sorry if you're listening on Spotify. It slowly goes down, so you're on a vertical angle, just hanging, and it keeps you there for 2 seconds. And I know it says you think 2 seconds. Oh, what's that? But if you think it's forever. Like 1, 2, and you're just hanging like free, like with just a harness on. It literally and then it's just a vertical drop into a hole, and yeah, that's the one that did actually freak me out. But talking about like roller coaster stuff, has anyone actually had like a situation where they thought it was going to be like a Final Destination situation where the lights are going to go out, or if you were behind something and something happened, or a car crash or anything like that? Sorry to get a bit morbid now.
No, I don't go on roller coasters to begin with, but no.
I have had a moment with, I'm not going to mention names, and my very good friend Emma is in the chat. I can't remember if she was in the car with us at the time, but we were coming back from Sunderland, and we were at, oh God, we were at where I don't know Sunderland very well, as Paul learned yesterday. There's a set of traffic lights on each side, so it's like 4-way traffic lights. And this we are just about to turn green, so the car that we're in kind of slows down a little bit, but a lorry goes through a red light, and it's a swing, like one of the big lorries, and he's going quite fast, and they kind of like swung to us a bit. If the car next to us didn't react and move, we would have been squished.
Dear me.
We would have been absolutely squished. And I don't know if Emma was in the car or not then, but afterwards, my friend, again, I'm not going to name my name, my blonde friend, almost got electrocuted the next day.
So you're the driving in the car?
It was no, eh?
So were you driving in the car?
No, I wasn't driving the car. I didn't drive at the time.
So were you in the back and the front?
Someone else driving this way. I was in the back next to where. Yes, it was. Emma was in the car that night.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to work out the list for you. So who's next on that list for you?
Christ almighty! I probably was in the back.
So see a blonde friend nearly got electrocuted the next day. So does that go to Emma or does it go to you?
I don't.
So you've got to save each other now.
20 years ago.
But I'm trying to save your life here, Sammy. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work out the formula so you can.
That's really kind of you. It's really kind, but it's really making us having to like go into that memory bank. It's bad enough as it is in there. I generally can't remember. I'm just so glad that Emma can remember. It was at the next where the prospect was. That's where it was.
Yeah. I've got a great one. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
I think it was like late 90s, early 2000s. It was some guy that played ice hockey with me dad.
Right.
And he was driving down, I don't know if it was the A1 or the M1, and there was an army carrier carrying tanks. No shit. One of the tanks fell off the back of the carrier and landed on his car.
Ooh.
And it broke both of his legs, and he was in a wheelchair for a couple of years or something like that.
Right. Is he all right now?
And that's probably the most... yeah, he's fine now. He still had his sense of humour even after it happened.
Right.
My mum got a text off him saying that he's in hospital and they've removed a mole from his penis while he was there. Last time he tries shagging one of them.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Who are you? Is this what happens when you spend like nearly almost 24 hours with us? You turn into a completely different person.
We've brought him out. It's finally happened. We've done it. We've broken Lee.
I'm too comfortable around you now.
That's fine.
No, that is the most final destined moment I can think of.
I think the chat's beating us though. Chris has beat us in the chat. Yeah. Chris said,
"What's that?
What was it again? I've lost it now because it shocked us."
Oh yeah,
I saw a shipping container fall from a crane and squash a guy. I can actually picture that as well.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So Chris is next.
I can't take all this in.
No, there's a soundbite we need to use.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, for fuck's sake. I walked into that one, didn't I?
Yes, backwards.
My bad.
But yes, Final Destination movies as well. So, as a franchise as a whole, I know, like say, Beth holds it as a high regard. Sammy, not so much. Where do you stand on your franchise side, Lee? Would you say? Does it hold up to some of the greats, or doing this podcast as well? Some franchises where probably has a great reputation, but when you watch all the movies, they're not great. If you talk about Freddy Krueger, The Nightmare on Elm Street, some of the later ones are unwatchable. Jason, the Friday the 13th, some of them are a hard watch. Where I don't think the 5 movies we've got, there's not an unwatchable movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's got enough movies yet, or enough years on it to stand the test of time compared to some of the greats,
Right.
or even some of the ones that have a lot, like Saw.
Right.
How many is there? There's 6.
Five.
Five. But that's still a big number for some of the franchises out there.
So
that have
Friday the
kind of
13th's got 9 now.
I should know this.
They've got eight originals, I think, and then they've got so it was it. So it's Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3. Then it's 4. Then it's Manhattan. Jason Lives. Is it 11?
It's 11.
11.
Yeah. Watch me episode on Friday. It's 11.
Yeah, 11. Freddy's got 7. Oh, if you don't include the remake, which is 8, or 9 if you include Freddy vs. Jason. So 9 movies. Yeah.
Freddy vs. Jason's included in that 11.
Right, so 9 Freddys. Because I don't want to include the Rob Zombies because they are shit. Sorry, it's fact.
Fuck off. There's not 13 Halloween.
I think there is now if you include the new ones that came out.
Halloween.
So Lee might be right. There is a lot more, like say, in the other franchises than you actually think. Like say 6 movies, but where can you go with this? Like, because it's a very simple plot device or plot thing. Because anyone can break the code. You just have to have a monologue or a cameo of Tony Todd in it, and it kind of sets it away type thing. Where would you go with the franchise? Where would you take it next, Beth?
A prequel to learn more about Tony Todd's character.
Right.
Because he says in the 5th one, he's seen it before. How can he see it before when the 5th one is technically the first one?
Yeah.
So I would like to see a prequel of how he knew. Is he a survivor? Is he working with death, or is he death himself?
Right. Okay.
I did want to ask this. This was one of the next things I wanted to say. Who is Tony Todd?
Who is Tony Todd?
Everyone theorizes that he's death, but then the producers have said he isn't death.
Right.
I feel like he's more like the ferryman guiding people to the underworld. I mean, there's even like the train at the end of, is it 3? Is that the train one?
Yeah.
Yes,
like,
you hear his voice.
He's the voice of the train driver, literally like driving them to the doom.
Yeah.
Like a ferry. The roller coaster, it's his voice on the devil's thing. He's literally riding them into hell, literally. Is it number 2? He's shoveling the rich guy into a fire.
Yeah, but the question is, like, would you like to be rode to hell?
And oh no. But he shovels a guy into fire and he takes his watch.
Yeah.
And it's almost like paying the ferryman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea with Tony, because I always felt like Tony Todd was we've got such a horror icon now, let's just shove him in there. But so I didn't realize it was like more of a thing with them in it. I've got to say Kelly's response to, where could they go with this? Death Goes on Holiday is just probably my personal favourite. Emma, that is about the time I fell asleep today while watching the second one, was 30 minutes into it. There's been some good responses to what could we have next out of this franchise. I mean, you are right. I do compare this franchise to Saw in a lot of ways.
That is the only one you can compare it to, really.
Yeah. Because it's just how the deaths and everything are all like kind of you're guaranteed in this movie to have some spectacular death scenes.
Yeah.
But you are right, when it comes to franchise, 5 is just not enough to, especially when Saw is hitting 10. Like 5's kind of like just scratching the surface when it comes to a horror franchise, because let's be honest, they could drag this to forever. They really could. If they wanted to, they could.
No, certainly. And again, as you said, the formula is simple, and I think it's an easy thing, and you can do it all around the world. And like I know Kelly was joking, saying Death Goes on Holiday. You could do a British Final Destination. Like, that could be interesting. And technically they did at the end of Final Destination 1 to go to Paris, and that's where the Dawson's Creek kid gets hit by the billboard thing. But
unfortunate, that mind, isn't it? You get all the way to Paris and then you get taken out. Like,
he does have a name, Tony Todd's character. He's called William Bloodworth.
Bloodworth. And
wow.
Has that got any reference? Anyone got any Google skills to know what, like, if that's like got any reference to the ferryman or
All
anything?
is that he's the owner of Bloodworth Funeral Homes.
Right.
That is my old head teacher's name, by the way, Richard Bloodworth.
So, Sammy, you are living Final Destination now. So.
I really am. I can't believe that it's Bloodworth, yeah?
Bloodworth. E-L-U-D, then Worth.
I tell you what, mind you, is a handsome fella, is Tony Todd. Wow, okay. Yeah, it actually comes up with, wow. It doesn't come up with the character when you Google it. It comes up with William Bloodworth's personal appointments, obituary information for Dr. William A. Bloodworth, former AU President William Bloodworth passes away, and then a picture of Tony Todd at the front.
All right. So
he's named after a genuine person, and if you Google it, it's Tony Todd's face, and then the actual person who's died.
So that's why people want to know, because he has a name. If he's got a name, then he has to have a backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you talk about, like, if we were going to do more Final Destination movies and do, like, because it always starts off with a big set piece, the big murder, the big death. Like, say, we've had the plane crash, we've had the car crash on the motorway, we've had the roller coaster going wrong, we've had the bridge collapsing, and what was the other one? The car racing one. Yeah, that was the one where they went heavily into the 3D, and it had Bubba from Forrest Gump in, didn't it? As well. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. The guy who played Bubba, that I don't know his name. But
that's the one who he goes to the house to try it. The racist guy tries to stick the. Didn't realize that.
What big thing or big situation would you do, or personally can you like event to see like something happening where it would cause like the Final Destination type situation?
It's got to be something of now.
Yep.
And let's have a think, because everyone's got a fucking phone. Everyone can record stuff, videos, the world is just on watch because of the fact that we have these mobile phones. Let's have a think. That's a really good fucking question. Could have given us a heads up on it.
Sorry.
What was that, Beth?
A festival.
Oh, okay.
People do record festivals.
Okay.
Oh, here. Phones. Well, that's just happened today. At the weekend. Syria, they have a fucking outdoor festival going on, and they've been attacked.
Right.
Syria's just declared war, so that has literally just happened today.
Yeah. But
oh my god!
But if you think about a festival, like say not war, but say what could go wrong?
Coachella.
Yep. Like
Burning Man,
like fire kicking off, or like grabbing, or like the full on Wicker Man.
I think I've been to a full on Wicker Man like sacrifice thing. We went to the same display in Newcastle for New Year's Eve, and I swear to Jesus, it was very much like a pagan sacrifice happening. And the end of it all, the burnt the stage down. And then the fireworks started. But while all this was going on, there was all these people like dancing about with bells and such. I was like, wait, am I still in Newcastle? Is this New Year's Eve celebration? Or am I here for an actual genuine sacrifice? I mean, a heads up would have been nice.
Yeah.
I think Coachella would be great because there is some there are some pretty douchey people who go to Coachella who you like, people like to see you get knocked down a peg or two.
Wow. Anyone who goes to Coachella and watches us, hi.
I am a lovely person.
What about you, Lee?
I feel like it would be good to do some like historical things where there's been like unexplained stuff that nobody knows why these people have died. Right. So imagine like Jack the Ripper. Nobody found who Jack the Ripper was.
Right.
That could have been.
You don't read a lot of conspiracy books, do you?
I've been on the Jack the Ripper tour, and like the main one was Prince Albert or something. Was someone at the time? It was one of the royal family.
People say, and this is just from like watching conspiracies. Obviously, we'll never know the truth, but apparently, From Hell got it very close. They believe got it very close. To the actual truth. But I do like the idea of like something historical that's not being explained, and it's like, but it has to be an event,
like the Titanic.
Yeah, yes, I was going to say like something like that. Thank God we avoided that disaster. Let's go and get on this nice boat.
Yes, like that would be good. Oh yes, so the thing happens before everything, like everything all happens, and the survivors, and then they're like, oh, we're getting out of here. We're docking the Titanic. We're going to the free land.
So someone could have saved Jack. Someone could have saved Jack.
Could have gotten on that fucking door with her.
Fucking bitch. But yeah, if I was going to do a Monday one, I love the idea of like going back in history and picking like events in history. That would fucking work. Like Final Destination, like that would Final Destination Titanic would sell, but that would make money.
Final Destination Titanic. Yeah. Oh my god.
That's just got money on it type thing.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think. Something as simple as yesterday, like a wedding, having like a wedding party, but then an earthquake hits and shit happens, and then you go like, oh, I'm on the morning you go, I'm not going to go to that wedding, and that's how you like kind of get away. Or a fire breaks out and you're all locked in. Not the towers have a tower on fire.
Oh Christ!
Yeah, like prolonged Grenville type thing.
Just I like the idea of you've gone through this like whole experience, but then you're then gonna go just what we know in history as one of like big catastrophe.
Yeah,
Titanic is perfect for that.
Yeah,
because it is a case of you could live or you could die kind of thing. Whereas in
just
some
by
certain
picking just
scenarios,
which boat you choose to go on. What was the other one that actually made it? Was it the Titan that actually made it or something?
Think so. It's like the toss in between. Do we get the Titanic or do we wait for the next one?
I'm just thinking the first ever prequel should just be a crossover with Red Dwarf, where they find out that JFK is going to be responsible for loads of people dying, so he has to kill himself by going back in time, and that stops all these people from dying and causes a chain reaction where death has to come for them all.
Well, that's quite a good question as well. We do have a lot of crossovers in horror where like certain things bleed into others. What like it doesn't have to be in the horror genre. What crossover would you like to see in like films with Final Destination? I see. I think I mentioned it earlier.
You're asking some good questions today. That's what happens when you hungover and tired.
Oh, I've got the perfect one. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I'm lumpers fucking people up. With Lee do the mic drop. You won this round.
Oh, you have to explain it. Yeah. No, you have to explain it.
Yeah. But it's like those kids like easily could have died in any of those scenes. Like Augustus Gloop, he couldn't swim in that chocolate river, and he got sucked up into a tube. But that could have been such a gory death.
Just to stop you there, though, were they not killed? Did you ever see them again? I know Willy Wonka tells Charlie that they're all okay.
They're dead.
It's what you're telling the kid. We sent the dog to the farm. Everything's okay there. They're there.
Gone on fun on the farm.
The remake, they do show up at the end walking out, but it shouldn't happen. It should have like Augustus Gloop exploding in the tube. What the blue one?
Violet.
Exploding and Violet. Veruca Salt should fall down that trap,
and she'll get
after
spent
the
in the
golden
furnace.
geese thing, with Graham at the bottom going geese attack.
Honk.
Honk.
Honk. Nom-noms.
They've all been eaten by the cannibalistic Oompa Loompas. Because, like, see, they ate people, definitely.
They had them for dinner, mind. I'm not gonna lie, like they had to have. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is fucking grim. It really is the grimmest, and I love the fact that you've managed to like put in like Final Destination with that.
Yeah.
Emma said in the chat, Home Alone and Final Destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have Kevin fight versus death. Come here, Tony. Here's a brick.
I chucked Evan Sawyer out with it. Yeah, it can happen now.
That's the ultimate thing. It's like, fuck this. You can try and electrocute as stabbers, but if you get a brick, I'm fucked. But yeah, what about you, Beth? What film franchise would you say?
I don't really know. For some reason, it's not really a film franchise. In my head, I thought Friends.
That'd be a good one, because like, which friend character could survive? It's like if they're getting some kind of accident, Like, you know, they're going to throw Chandler under the bus first. They'll want him dead just to, like, to placate it. Monica would be so ruthless she would kill the rest of them to survive.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was going to say Monica would either be the first one to be killed because of how annoying she is, so the group would have to take her out. But if she is quick and clever, she would take them out in order to win. With Ross just behind her.
Or the Phoebe could end up being the survivor.
Or Phoebe is death.
Phoebe is death.
I like that no one's mentioned Joey, because in Final Destination, pretty much the whole franchise is, these are realistic situations. This could happen to you if you were a fucking idiot. Do you put your hand in garbage disposals or electrocute yourself or whatever? Like, Joey would do any of these things.
We'll remind this Lee on the next outing when he goes off and does something stupid and saying, "You said you don't do these stupid situations." This is Lee.
You're totally having a Final Destination moment, Lee. But are you referring to the guy who won the lottery and he's where he puts his hand in? Right, okay. How fucking ridiculous was that attempt with death trying to kill him? It was like, it wasn't bad enough he had his hand in the hand disposal to start with. His fucking house was then on fire. It was just one thing after another. And like I mentioned before, gets killed by some stairs.
I do like that death though, because it is unexpected. And it's a simple death.
It's
like, there's a lot of
expected though. That's the problem with these. They are all expected. It's going to happen.
I mean, there's a few where it's like just people going, "Oh, I'm going to cross the road," and then all of a sudden they get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Which actually, it's unexpected, but it should be expected by them, because again, these people in these films are fucking idiots. Like, right. Have you seen like crash test dummies I've never seen someone actually getting hit by a car or a bus, but crash test dummies, they just seem to get hit and flop on the floor.
Right.
I don't expect them to explode unless the bus is doing 90 miles an hour. I'm not the best. Like,
we'll need to test this out. We'll need to do some kind of like test.
I could hear a bus doing 90 mile an hour down the road.
Can a bus go 90 miles an hour? I mean, I've seen speed.
Yeah.
And when it was it could only get you about 60.
But it would have to have some speed for these people.
On a destination
to explode.
But what about?
Vehicles need some speed to do that.
Tell you what did actually make us have the ick. Like, sorry to go back on time. Like, just because you mentioned the deaths, the gymnast where she lands and literally just crumbles on the thing.
Yeah.
That's just sorry. I just wanted to shout out. My crossover.
Make everyone feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, a little bit. I want everyone to feel what I was feeling in that moment.
Yep.
Different slant on it. Crossover, but in a way, Tony Todd's character is no more, passed away, and it's been passed on to someone else. Death is now Dexter. So Dexter has to kill the people on the list. It was better end than season 7.
It is better than season 7.
Sammy's getting all emotional now.
Well, no, because I'm trying to think, because with the whole Final Destination franchise, we generally don't know who Tony Todd is.
Yeah.
He could be fucking nobody at this point.
Yeah.
And it is very supernatural. When you look at the death scenes, because it's all set up by absolutely no one.
Yeah.
So it is very supernatural. I just don't like the idea of like an actual person being the one to do it when it's been so spooky up until now. It is very ghostish, you know, these franchise. It is a very ghost film.
It's more psychologically and like paranormal than you actual think, because like as you said, death design it goes into that realms. But I know, like I say, we are in the spooky season, so the ultimate question is, and I know what Lee's answer is going to be. I know what pretty much everyone's answer is going to be here. Do you think
he's been so unpredictable?
Oh no, this one's going to be the most predictable question I can ask. Do you think the Final Destination movies are scary?
No.
Did they make it?
Not technically no, but it puts that question in your mind. When you're out in public.
Would you class it more as an uncomfortable movie franchise, where you would think, oh, like it kind of, it's like, I know this is going to sound really like uncouth enough. So when you see a car crash you want to like look straight ahead and not look, but you always rubberneck. You always want to look at the same thing. So it's kind of that same thing. You're watching the movie, and you know it's what's going to happen. Isn't going to scare you or frighten you, but it makes you have that queasy and uncomfortable feeling.
Ian, not to compare it to Saw,
Yeah.
and I'm very sorry for doing it, but it's uncomfortable viewing. It doesn't matter. Like Saw, with Saw and this, you kind of know hand in hand when that death scene comes on, someone's gonna die.
Yeah,
you know it's gonna happen, but it's the anticipation of waiting for it to happen. I've got to say, the first one, for all it's not scary, it is very toe curling, and especially on first viewing, it's very ooh and ahs and and I will give the first one its dues. I think the first one can still. I know a few people in the chat say they don't hold up. I think the first one does, because it's the first of the. It's a first in the franchise. It gives you your blueprint of Death's design, and that is such a fucking great idea.
Yeah,
it's just you've got to revolve on it as opposed to just continuously keep doing it.
Yeah, and I think that could be its film, but like that's where the fun element. I think if we call it a franchise as a whole, the feelings us it leaned too heavily on the technology at the time. That's probably why it didn't hold up. If you think about the 3D element, because everyone thought after Avatar, the 3D is the next big thing. But let's be honest, it lasted a few years. Like the novelty wore off, where certain movies like these do not hold up well because the way it's been shot for 3D elements and for like things to look at to go about you. They want you to do that whole like moving back and things like are going to touch you type thing. Not like the Lee and Goodwill will touch you, but in a good way.
We're going to touch you.
Not in a bad touch.
Yeah, they relied a lot on CGI with these movies. The logs on the big truck. So they originally tested, because they did have the idea of wanting to do a lot practical, but they tested the logs, genuine logs, like full size, of bouncing off the floor, and they do not bounce.
Right.
They just fall on the floor.
Right.
So it's not going to have the effect of bouncing to hit something, and they needed that. So it is CGI logs that you're looking at when you're watching it on the screen, but it is literally because of practicality. They just didn't bounce. So they did, I will give them their dues with it. Like, for all, yes, they rode the train when it came down to the CGI and the 3D stuff, but they did initially in the beginning try to do as much practical as they possibly could.
Cool. What are you going to say there, Lee?
Sorry,
I feel
Lee.
like no, it's fine. I feel like the CGI stuff only counts for about maybe 50% of it going downhill.
Yeah.
And the rest is the Death's design part. No, not even the cast. I think it's the Death's design bit for me. So, like in the first one, it's all very simple. It's like, right, here's Death's design. This guy's going to slip in the bathroom and strangle himself in the shower. Or this guy is just standing at the train track and a bit of metal's going to chop his head off. Eventually,
what was that?
It turns into. Do you remember the game Mousetrap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it'll be like, someone knocks a fan and it starts blowing and some dominoes fall over and that knocks a ball and that rolls down a tube and then a knife falls off and lands on someone's foot and they lean over to take it out, put the head in the fan that originally switched on, and that chops the head off.
Lee, you've just gotten onto $1 million idea. We need a Final Destination Mousetrap edition. That's it.
How
are we not rich yet?
I know. The amount of shit we've given Hollywood is ridiculous. But do you know what, though, Lee? I really like up until the point where you know of Death's design, you get your first two deaths out the way with. And to me, they fit in with the guy, with his friend, him dying the way he did is almost, yes, it got put off as a suicide. That's great. He's out the way with, and it's been blamed on the suicide. The teacher who was racked with guilt, perfect. Death's got that to fall back onto. There could be an explanation behind their deaths. And then the Death design came out, and it's like, oh well, that just fucking, you've got it on a bit of paper where they've literally mapped out the whole seating plan, and it's like,
but isn't that just a desperate? The more times you've avoided it, it's like Death become more desperate There was more ways, and like say, it was like the desperation of death, and I quite like that aspect. It's like because again, I'm not one of these who believe in fate or anything like that, but I love the idea of like you're cheating your odds, you're cheating your fate, and it's keep catching up, and it's like there's some force or some power behind there that's getting more and more anxious or angry that they wants this fucker dead. And I'm just think yes, and it's like just to keep. But if you manage to work that out, there's got to be a limit because no one lives forever. Let's be honest. Unless you're Goodwill will not die.
Unless you're Disney.
Goodwill has pointed out. Mm-hmm. Goodwill's pointing out in the chat, physics be damned.
Yeah.
Which physics in these films are ridiculous. Like, so is it? It's the delivery truck rolls down a hill and crashes into the back of a car. Is that 3?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a car crash where engine block, which must weigh at least half a ton, manages to fly out of the front of the car through the air into somebody else's car
and then chop his head up
and chop the brain in half?
That's the lightest engine block I have ever seen.
Oh my god! I can't believe you're looking at the practicality.
And if you watch Saw 10, you can find out you can survive with part of your brain missing as well. Just so you want to know.
Just so you know. Just put that out there.
But yes.
I mean, really ought to kind of like prove that one as well in Hannibal. But I like the idea that death is not, so routine.
Yeah.
And they can mix it up a bit because that would have made it more scary. Was they think they've got it mapped out. This is exactly how it's going to go. This person goes first, then this person, and Death's like, hang on a minute, fuckers. I'm gonna prove he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kill somebody before they're meant to, and I'm gonna mix this shit up a bit. That would have been more interesting than them sitting there going, well, this person is now next, and then this person, and we have to stop this one and intervene with this one, and that's when I started to lose it on the second one because I was like,
so
this just might be a bit more exciting.
This one, they actually put emphasis on that.
Yeah,
because one of the characters tries to push a woman in front of a truck. And he stops it. Instead, he goes after the love interest of the main character who sees the vision.
Yeah.
And that ends up because he ends up dying instead.
But it's always the case, though. It's there's certain aspects that are beyond ridiculous and hilarious, like when it explodes and the fence with the barbed wire gets thrown out and chops the guy in like pieces and stuff. That's just hilarious. And Lee mentioned the other one where he gets like a cylinder hits him in the chest and he goes into the chain link fence and like bits thing, but it doesn't even cut him like in bits, but fall off him. It's the gore factor that's hilarious. But just to wrap it up as well, I know it's not going to be a 3-hour episode. Sorry guys, I am fucked. But
yeah.
What I was going to ask as well, because I know we were talking about like franchises and stuff like that. Where do you see, like, say, the Final Destination movies on the levels of like the horror franchises or movie franchises as a whole? Say if we talk about having, I'll give you this one. Lee will get excited. Lord of the Rings at the top, and then having Fast and the Furious franchise at the bottom. Whereabouts would
where do you think it fits in the pantheon of horror franchises?
Or any type of movie franchise type thing.
Okay. Personally, I don't think it holds up in a franchise as yet.
Right.
But there's potential. That's the thing with this whole concept and idea. There is actual potential.
Yeah.
And there is some really fucking good writers out there who I think if it would have fell in the right hands, it could reach a level of where it is now. I know I have compared it a lot to Saw, and I apologize, but it could get into the horror genre pantheon more if it was just taken in, if it was just elevated. That's where I'm looking for this to go.
Certainly. But Goodwill's just pointed out, I would put Twilight higher than Fast and Furious. It's got a more realistic story. But yes, what about you, Lee?
I wouldn't put it very high. Like, I don't know if you're going to do a rating on this, but just overall as a franchise, I would probably give it a 2 out of 5.
Ooh,
Lee likes his ratings.
I really
Lee is the king of ratings.
Look, I enjoy.
Just instead of sending me pictures of your dicks, guys, he won't rate them. That's fine.
No, we keep.
I enjoy the Final Destination. like the good films,
Mhm.
but they're not like amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Apart from the first one is a very clever movie.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
it
kind of like
is.
like Sixth Sense sort of clever.
No,
where
it's
like
not. You give it
I mean,
so much credit.
sorry, I might have ruined that now.
You haven't. You haven't. I'm sorry.
But no, I think like it's got a clever concept
Mhm.
where they've wrote a good story for it, but
Yeah.
then I think the rest of the films after that
Yeah.
bring it down.
Right.
Good
No,
answer.
no, that's the thing. I think, as you said, starting off point starts high. It does have a dip, and it goes middle of the road, but
Yeah.
it
And
goes.
I do
I'm
I
saying
do
yeah.
agree with
Like, I've
Sammy
watched
saying
them.
that it has got potential though. So
Mhm.
like
Yes,
it could
massive.
redeem itself.
Massively, and I just think if it got in the right hands, and it was because the first one, you're right, the story is it's solid, it's a
Mhm.
solid story,
Mhm.
and there's some good writing behind it, some good dialogue, and I think if they just took that
Mhm.
and just evolved it and elevated and on
Mhm.
that idea, as opposed to like, what death can we do next that's going to really freak someone out?
Yeah.
Because that's how it goes,
Yeah.
and this is coming from me who fucking loves Saw.
Mhm. What we need to do is get Lee to write some Nerdy Up North fan fiction in the style of Final
Yes.
Destination to see who makes it and
Oh, that's
who
good.
So Lee's
that.
going to be tasked now we know Goodwill's going to survive, so you can't kill the Goodwill, so that's fine.
If you kill me, I will be having words. Beth, what do you think about it? Or where do you place it?
I agree with you both. There is a massive potential, and the way I see it,
Mhm.
possibly not as a movie, but maybe as a series.
Right?
If Netflix take
Yeah.
hold of it,
Right?
there's a lot you can do with that.
Yeah.
An episode doesn't have to be an episode every death.
Mhm.
It can just be them trying to survive.
Mhm.
Maybe they're at loggerheads because they're in a room together.
Mhm.
But I can see it as a series.
I really like that.
No, I do like that idea. I was got to say, because Goodwill's just throws by saying, "Why won't you let me die?" You can't die. You're eternal.
Oh, Michael, we have so many plans for you. You've got to stay.
We've also got Good Wilson, so he'll always live on with us forever.
Regardless what happens, we have Good Wilson. It's all right.
Good Wilson. But yes, no, I do like that idea of having like a TV show aspect growing out from it. But like that's with anything now, anything can be a good TV show because TV now is getting more of the budget. But as Sammy said, there is a lot of great writers out there now. Fucking, let's be honest, the writers are going to start getting paid a lot more for shit. So well done
And
for
we're
that.
gonna, well done on this, yes, on the way that the strike's gone. But I do think that there is some brilliant people who could, if it was in the right hands, this could be something incredibly special. I genuinely thought it was James Wan when I read the thingy. It is not.
No.
I completely read that wrong. I was like, does this fucker just in everything? Does he just do everything? And then he was like, no, he does not, because he did not do this.
It's probably in it somewhere. He's got like probably a credit somehow saying I come up with some idea. But yes. So, any other points that we haven't talked about the Final Destination that you want to talk about before we wrap up there, or do you think we'll
Beth, this is for you, Beth, because this is the last time. The last and only time. So anything that you want to bring up about what your favorite franchise?
I think we've covered it all, but I was talking to my sister about it, and we went through our top 5 worst deaths. And my sister hated the swimming pool one, and both of us said the first one we agreed on was the sunbed one.
Right.
I don't like the eye one because I don't like anything near my eyes. The elevator one, the lift, where a head gets stuck. I don't like lifts. So I have a lot of phobias, and watching those films sometimes doesn't help. But I just love the franchise.
But that's the thing. That's why I love talking about different types of movies. It might not be for me. It might not be for Sammy. But it's someone's going to enjoy it. The only thing, I've just remembered what I was going to ask now. I don't know if anyone's got the kill count for the full franchise.
Does anyone have it? Because I'll be intrigued to know.
I watched some kill count videos earlier on, but it was literally just to watch the death reels.
Right, so we don't have an official number.
I'm sure.
Keep talking.
The first one, I'm sure, only has 4 deaths apart from the plane crash.
Right.
That's not including the one getting hit by the billboard at the end because it does cut out.
Yeah.
But it is a death. Just because you don't see it on screen, does it include? Because we have the greatest killer in movie history so far, the Invisible Man, as you don't actually see all his deaths. He just boasts how notorious and violent it is.
Well,
right.
I'm gonna have to watch Friday's episode.
Okay.
Things are changing.
Things are changing.
And it might just change now.
Right.
Wow. Okay. What is the death number in fact? Now, as a franchise, it doesn't go into my kill counts because it's not one single person.
Well, death is a single being.
Nah, you're not having it. 180.
180.
180.
Right.
Yeah.
What number has been on? Yeah, what number has always been around? 180.
Yeah, flight 180.
I think it's number 5. Clever then. Hang on.
There's the bus has like 180 on top.
It's the 180 curse, yeah. It's 180. The flight is 180. There's the clock in the first movie that says 180. They had to literally wait until that did that. They couldn't physically get the clock to change. So yeah, 180 is the number. It does not go into my kill count. So
all right. So you're not having this one, are you not?
Nah. I'm not having Final Destination be Claude Rains's kill count.
Well, death.
No way.
To be fair though, the actual number of death would be infinite, so that would.
Oh yeah, like that wins all like hands down. You can't go up against it because you're never gonna fucking win. But I'm still not counting this in our kill count. Claude Rains, as of broadcast right now, is still our highest kill count.
Bless him.
However, watch Friday's episode.
And coming up to that, like I say, if you were expecting Star Trekking with or Trekking Up North with Graham and Goodwill this Friday, unfortunately, we've had a change of plans just because it is Friday the 13th.
His name was Jason, and today is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Jason.
No. I don't know why my brain just, when you said his name was Jason, my brain went, his name was Jason. He was a showgirl.
God. What a winner. I'm going to
That's the crossover we need.
I'm so glad I've already pre-recorded this episode because if I had that in my head while I was doing it, I'd be furious. Yes, we are not, Monsters is not a Monster Monday this week. We have been lovely enough to have, what's the word I'm looking for? We have been graced with taking the spot of Trek because it is Jason's birthday. So we're doing an episode dedicated and celebrating the birthday of one of horror's most greatest icons, Jason.
Yes, and it would be wrong not doing a Jason episode on Friday the 13th in fucking Halloween month.
Yeah.
This comes once every I don't know how. I'm not even going to try and do the calculations.
Good God, not a chance. I think I've had, my birthday is a 13, and I think I've had about maybe 2, 3, if that, in my 40 years where it's fallen on a Friday. But yeah, it's a really good episode. It goes into a lot of the first movie because you will learn why when you watch it. I have a kitty attacking my toes right now. At least it's not a spider like I always think when I'm sitting in the back bedroom.
But yes, so that's happening next week. Then after that day, we are having an eventful day where it, like I say, you will get a lot of promo this week. You will get a lot of spam from us. You'll be hearing about all of the different things that we are going to be doing. There will be prizes next Saturday for the 24-hour stream. There will be things you can win. I'll just show you a few examples. There's going to be Star Wars figures given away. There's going to be Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. There's going to be Funko Pops. Like I say, the winner of the actual quiz is going to be getting a very rare Sam and Frodo Funko Pop as well. So there's very. And
what you mean is when Sam wins, the quiz,
yes,
they will be coming to my house.
And also, like I say, we do have a target, and this is like say the thing, we want to raise £500. We've already raised £110, and we've also sent a T-shirt out to the person who donated up to the £100 limit, which is Chris. So thank you very much, Chris. But this is going to be the prize for the person that hits us on £500. So, and it's a Lego. It is Dancing Groot. So I will send you this in the post. It is for the person who donates us and hits that £500 mark. So we all know you nerds love your Lego.
Yes. And what the fuck? We hit £110 and we haven't even fucking started. Promo for this starts tomorrow. And we've already got 110. What is, you nerds are just the best. You really, really are the best.
Well,
behave.
But thank you so much for joining us today, Beth. Have you had fun? Has Nova enjoyed herself?
Yes.
Good.
She has.
Good to hear.
The other one's now upstairs, so I've got peace.
Yes. And we have had wonderful Lee join us. Have you enjoyed yourself there, Lee?
Wonderful Lee?
Yes.
It's a totally different fucking Lee. That's not Lee.
Yes, I enjoy this, Lee. I'm glad. We've got Lee out of his shell for once. It's good. And
you just left him at the wedding.
That's fine. Maybe it's his twin. There's like Lee looking at like in the corner of his eye. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I want that on a T-shirt. I really want that picture on a T-shirt.
But yes,
that is so funny.
But just to say as well, I know we started it as well. A big congratulations to Donna and Tucky as well. Yesterday was such a magical day, and thank you for being a part of it. And like I say, thank you for Goodwill for giving me this moment. I just want to share this with him as well. It meant so much to us. I've never been held like that so and felt so loving and cool and
you felt so safe.
Yes,
safe.
I felt safe. And Goodwill felt safe. I just wish someone got a video of me picking Goodwill up as well. He felt light like a princess. But yes.
Michael. Oh, Michael.
But yes.
We love you.
I love you, nerds.
Love all of yous.
Yes. But
oh my God.
But anyway, so same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
Bye. Bye.